There are 3 birds that skip almost every yard on your street, and not randomly, not because your yard is prettier. Each one is checking for something specific, something most homeowners have. A hummingbird doesn't wander in. It confirms something. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what your yard has been saying, whether you meant it to or not. Here's the part almost no. A bird doesn't have a reason to be polite. It doesn't visit out of curiosity, and it definitely doesn't visit because you're. A bird visits because something in that specific patch of cover, water, and if that answer isn't there, the bird simply. No hard feelings. No. So when 3 particular species show up, not once, but as a pattern, you're not looking at luck. You're looking at a verdict. 3 separate yes votes on 3 separate things you built, mostly without noticing you were building them. And the yard too, the one without any of these 3 birds? It's not unlucky. It's just missing the thing being asked for. None of this means these are the only birds that will ever land in your yard. Plenty of visitors really are just passing through. But these 3 don't pass through. When they show up, it's because something specific was already true. Let's open. The first bird is also the pickiest one you'll ever host, and she is not shy about proving it. A hummingbird's entire year is built around a brutal. She burns through fuel so fast that finding the right flower isn't a preference. It's so when she works a garden, darting from one red tubular bloom to the next, trumpet creeper, cardinal flower, she's already decided this patch is worth the calories it takes to and she will defend it, chasing off rivals in fast looping dogfights because a reliable nectar source is worth fighting for. Here's where it gets personal. Scientists tracking out of over 3,600 birds tagged, roughly 1 in 8, not to the region, to that exact a creature that migrates thousands of miles, that could stop absolutely anywhere on the way, chose to return to a specific multiple times. That's not an accident of geography. That's a bird that ran the numbers on your yard and filed it under reliable. If your feeder or your flower bed goes empty for more than a few days during peak season, she doesn't wait around to see if it comes back. She crosses your yard off the list and starts checking the next one. The hummingbird isn't hoping for hospitality. She's auditing it continuously and voting with her wings every single time she shows up. And she's testing more than whether the flowers exist at all. A feeder left hanging with old cloudy nectar fails the inspection. She's not just checking presence, she's checking upkeep. That's ballot 1. Ballot 2 doesn't fly in loud or bright. It creeps in through the mess you've been meaning to clean up. If you've got a corner of the yard you keep meaning to rake, tidy, and mulch into submission, don't. Not yet. And it is the single most common thing separating a yard with. The eastern towhee forages with a move you'll recognize a sharp backward hop, kicking leaf litter apart like it owes her money. She's not making a mess. She's hunting spiders, beetles, seeds buried under exactly the layer of dead leaf that a clean. The brown thrasher works the same real estate a different way, sweeping its long curved bill sideways through the litter and soil, staying low, staying hidden in the kind of tangled hedgerow most homeowners. Here's the myth worth killing. A raked, mulched, trimmed to the edge yard doesn't read as well cared for to either of these. It reads as empty. No cover to hide a foraging bird from a hawk. No leaf layer to hold the insects they came for. Researchers studying both species keep landing on the same 2 ingredients, and plenty of leaf litter underneath it. That's the whole application. Not a feeder, not a fountain, just permission to leave a corner of your yard slight. So if a towhee or a thrasher is working your flower beds, that's not proof your yard and too secretive ground feed. Here's what should be landing right about now. None of these birds read your whole yard. Each one is grading one specific line item: the flowers, the leaf litter, and passing or failing you on that alone. Which means the real test, the one, comes down to the bird that's hardest to earn. The one that doesn't show up alone. Cedar waxwings don't do quiet visits. When they arrive by the dozens, sometimes hundreds, moving through a neighborhood like a single organism that happens to have 30 sets of wings. And whether that flock stops at your tree or flies straight over it comes down to one thing: fruit. Real fruit from a real native tree: serviceberry, dogwood, juniper, hawthorn, winterberry. Not the ornamental variety that looks nice in a nursery catalog, but produces nothing. That specialization runs deeper than most backyard birds. Waxwings are among the only birds on this continent that can survive on fruit and nothing else. That's not a preference. That's an entire species that bet its survival, which means when a flock chooses your tree, it isn't sampling a snack. It's confirming that your yard can carry real weight. Now, a fair complication. Waxwings are also nomadic, in a way most backyard birds aren't. A flock can vanish from a neighborhood for an entire season and reappear the next. Chasing fruit crops that ripen on their own unpredictable schedule. That unpredictability is real, and it doesn't. It just means the vote isn't guaranteed on a fixed calendar. It means that when the fruit is there, ripe, at the right moment, a flock will find it, close to every time. Unpredictable timing isn't the same thing as no pattern. It's a pattern with a longer memory than a single season. But that devotion has a genuinely dark edge, and it's worth being honest about it instead of skipping past it. Because waxwings gorge fast and in groups, they're unusually vulnerable. When fruit oversits on the branch into late fall or winter, sugar breaks down into alcohol as it ferments. In one documented case in Texas, around 50 waxwings were found. The berries they'd been eating tested at levels of alcohol strong enough to genuinely intoxicate. Most impaired birds do recover. A bird's liver processes alcohol fast. But some don't, misjudging a window, a wall. That's not a reason to fear the birds, and it's not a flaw in the theory. If anything, it's the sharpest proof of it. A waxwing flock stopping at your tree isn't a casual visit. It's a flock staking its safety on your fruit. That's not a bird sampling your garden. That's the entire flock, calorie for calorie, risk included. So if you've ever watched a cloud of wax, it was. That's what real trust from a wild animal actually looks like up close. It's not gentle, it's total. So here's where that leaves you. 3 birds, 3 separate line items, 3 yes or no votes on things: the right mess, the right trees. No single visit from any one of them proves one hummingbird passing through doesn't mean anything. But what? And your yard starts reading less like a guess. A hummingbird doesn't wander in. It confirms. So does the bird kicking through your leaf litter. And so does the flock stripping your dogwood tree in an afternoon. Your assignment is simple. Go look at your own yard, the way these, not at how it looks from the street, at what it's actually offering. Then tell me in the comments which of these 3 you've actually had, and which one you're missing. I read every single one. And some of the best stories on this channel started exactly there. And if you want to know what else your yard has been quietly telling the rest of the neighborhood, the next video is already waiting for you.